If you told me a year ago that my entire life would change at 37,000 feet because of a stranger in first class, I'd have called you crazy. But here's the thing: you never really know which day is the day your luck will flip or what it'll cost you. Let me back up a sec. Flight 2847 from Phoenix to New York wasn't supposed to be anyone's last chance at redemption. But for me, Marcus Thompson, it sure felt like it. I had $15,000 every last dime I could scrape together tucked inside my wallet next to a stack of medical bills with enough zeros to make anyone dizzy. That morning, sitting at the gate, watching my daughter Maya hug her battered teddy bear, I was holding on to hope like it was the last rope dangling off a cliff. The deal was simple. If we made it to JFK, the best pediatric cardiac surgeon in the country was waiting to see Mamie, 8-year-old miracle, stubborn as hell, and holding on in ways most adults never could. Her mom, Sarah, had given her that bear the night before cancer took her. Sometimes, I still catch Maya talking to it when she thinks I'm not looking. You know what I mean? That kind of kid. I'd worked every extra shift, sold our furniture, maxed out credit cards, and signed away our house for a second mortgage, and I still knew we were a mile short of the $180,000 we needed for her surgery. Insurance? A bad joke. They might cover a third maybe if some clerk had a good day. But you try telling a kid their future depends on paperwork and luck. So there we were, airborne over the desert, Maya drifting off with her head on my shoulder. For 1 second, I let myself believe that maybe, just maybe, a universe owed us a break. 43 minutes in, that calm snapped like a rubber band. A scream tore through first class. Flight attendants sprinted forward, something you never want to see. Instinct took over. I moved Maya to the window, nodded at a stranger to keep an eye on her, and hustled up the aisle, not even thinking. Paramedic mode. Just don't think. On the ground or in the air, someone needed help, and that's what I do. The woman was maybe early 40s, all business class polished tailored suit, expensive watch, hair the color of good champagne, sprawled in the aisle, body jerking with seizure shakes. Passengers sat glued to their seats, faces ghost white, not one moving an inch. I dropped to my knees, hands steady. Heart racing, cleared her airway, checked her pulse, tilted her head, just like I'd done for 100 emergencies. Her eyes flickered open for a second, this sharp blue, trying to focus. She whispered, "Thank you," a voice that had seen boardrooms, not fear, but now sounded small, afraid. It was only as I tucked an oxygen mask around her face that I caught Ida's surgical scar on her wrist, thin and almost faded, but impossible to miss if you'd ever watched someone you love get cancer. My wife had that same scar after her first round of chemo. Maybe that's when I should have known this wasn't just another save the day. Something about her felt familiar, and not just in that deja vu way. It was like the world had folded over on itself for a second. The crisis passed. Flight crew took over. She murmured her name, Victoria Sterling, heart condition, no family to contact, and I could tell she was used to being the one in charge, not the one on the floor. I headed back to my seat, shaken in ways I couldn't quite name. Maya was awake by then, clutching her bear, eyes wide. "Daddy, is the lady going to be okay?" She whispered, and what she really meant was, "Are you going to be okay?" I told her yes, because that's what dads do. But my mind kept circling back to Victoria and that scar, wondering what had really happened to bring us together on that plane. Landing in New York, the only thing on my mind was Maya. We bounced between budget hotels and the maze of Mount Sinai Hospital, living off vending machines and hope. Richardson, the surgeon, ran tests, and then more again, every day a coin toss. Money slipped through my fingers with every cab ride, every waiting room hour. I started to wonder if the whole thing was just another cruel joke. And then, 2 days in, I saw her, Victoria Sterling, standing by the elevators, not in business armor this time, but in jeans, hair tied back, looking almost normal. I should have been surprised. Maybe I was. But she strode over, asked about Maya by name, and my gut twisted. How'd she know? Why did she care? Before I could figure her out, Maya came skipping over, bandage on her arm, the pure joy of a kid who still believes in happy endings. "You're the lady from the airplane," she announced, smiling like it was the best thing that had ever happened to her. And for the first time, Victoria dropped the executive routine. She knelt eye to eye with my daughter, and I saw something break open in Hera, kind of grief you only spot if you've been through it yourself. Dr. Richardson interrupted Maya, needed surgery, and soon. 2 weeks, he said, where the odds got worse. Numbers in my head turned into nightmares. I was about to lose it in that hallway when Victoria pulled me aside. She hesitated, then blurted out a confession I hadn't expected. 3 years ago, she'd lost her only son, David, in a car crash 16 years old, gone in a heartbeat while she was tied up in some billion-dollar meeting. She'd spent every day since trying to atone for missing that call. She told Maya, with a crack in her voice, that maybe David and Seremy, wife, were friends in heaven now. My girl nodded, like it made perfect sense. And then she turned to me, said she wanted to help pay for Maya's surgery, not charity, not a handout, but a way to do something good out of her own pain. I'll be honest, my pride almost choked me. I didn't want her pity, but she stopped me cold. It's not pity. It's what I need to do to feel human again. That's when the twist hit the connection I'd missed. Victoria had known Sarah. During David's final days at Phoenix Children's Hospital, Sarah had been his nurse, the one who made his last days bearable, who talked about her paramedic husband and her little girl who loved to draw. Victoria said Sarah had promised her that if anything happened, someone would look after me and Maya, the way she'd looked after David. Let me tell you, if you don't believe in fate, that'll shake your foundation. Suddenly, I understood why Victoria couldn't walk away, why she'd found us, why she was so determined to help. And maybe, just maybe, I was ready to let her. The next days passed in a blur. Victoria argued with insurance companies like a general at war, calling in favors I didn't even know existed. Surgery was scheduled, paid in full, no strings attached. Maya went in on a Thursday morning, chatting with nurses, determined to come out of it able to fly like Superman. I paced the waiting room like a caged animal, Victoria beside me, both of us drowning in memories and hopes neither of us dared say out loud. For hours later, Dr. Richardson appeared, grinning, saying Maya had done beautifully. Relief hit so hard my knees buckled. Victoria hugged me, and for a second, the whole world shrank to that tiny room, just two parents, united by loss, holding on to hope. Maya's recovery was tough, but every day she got stronger, her energy came back, and her laughter filled our little apartment again. Victoria stayed, clothes became Aunt Vicky, showed up for every appointment, every birthday, every school play. It didn't matter that we weren't blood. She was family now, the kind you choose and the kind that chooses you. 6 months later, I was standing in a community center in Phoenix, talking to a room full of parents whose kids needed help, launching the Sterling Foundation's program for families like mine. Victoria had used her company's resources to build something lasting, a network that helped keep other families from falling off the same cliff. I took over as director, using what I'd learned the hard way, turning pain into something useful. Maya's car, barely visible beneath her bright dress, sat in the front row, drawing pictures of happy families. She called Victoria Aunt Vicky with an ease only kids can manage, like it had always been that way. Victoria found purpose she'd never had in boardrooms, and I found a way to honor Sarah that meant something real. One day, Maya ran up, waving a crayon drawing. 3 people holding hands under a sky so blue it hurt to look at it, and above, just out of reach, an angel with Sarah's smile. "That's you, me, and Aunt Vicky," she said, "and Mommy's making sure we found each other." Looking at that picture, it hit me, loss can break you, but it can also build something new, if you let it. Sometimes the strangers we save aren't strangers at all, theory, just family we haven't met yet. And sometimes the rescue comes long after the sirens fade. As the Arizona sun set, lighting the sky gold and pink, I watched Maya run ahead, laughter echoing, and realized the journey that started on Flight 2847 wasn't just about saving her life. It was about saving mine, too. So here's my question: when is it okay to accept help? And when does pride just get in the way of letting someone else save you? Tell me what you think. What's the right thing to do? Hold tight to your pain, or open up and let someone in? Because maybe, just maybe, saving each other is what we're here for.